Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday to you. It is quite muggy and 30-some degrees, which would be Celsius, of course, here in Elora, Ontario, a beautiful little British want-to-be village, which I'm quite taken with. I do have from us, actually, from way across the pond, Mr. Rupert Samuel, who born in Nottingham and comes to us from Somerset, Bath. So without further ado, because we've got so much to cover, I'm going to bring Rupert on, but first, look up above, sign into StreamYard so we can find out, learn who it is that's making these lovely comments. So let's meet Rupert. Rupert, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Grand. I spoke with Rupert earlier today. Of course, it's a little bit later in the day for Rupert. You're post-lunch at this point.
Yeah, about 3 p.m. Just finished lunch earlier. I did.
3. Good. Excellent. So, Rupert, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get where you are today?
So I've always been I've been a retailer. When I was 18, I opened my first shop.
Wow.
My father used to own about 40 stores across the country. And it's just always been my thing of going to have shops. And when I was 18, I got my first one. I'd been working on like eBay and Shopify stores and going to car boots and markets and, you know, car washers and mowing lawns and all that side hustling, as you call it. And then 18, I got my first shop. And
Wow.
funny enough, it's a funny thing you might want to know. I have a hobby as a magician. So I used to go busking and do magic tricks on the streets for people. And yes,
you were kind of before your time. Gary Vee would have been very proud of you. He with the hustling and so he goes to yard sales, but you went to other things. So
I did yard sales, car boots. It's the same thing. Just before we call them car boots. So basically, you turn up your car. I think you guys call it a trunk in America, but a boot is the back of the car in the UK. So we just call it car boot. You turn up, take the stuff out your boot, and lob it. But yeah, so yeah, I got my first shop, and then over the space of like 5 or so years, that turned into about 20 shops. Ended up doing like some what I refer to as pop-up stores along with all of that, and bit by bit, I grew that business. So we started wholesaling. Then the wholesale got to the point where we were supplying like 500 shops up and down, mainly in the United Kingdom. And then I left that business primarily just because I wanted to get into more digital end of what was going on. And I just found it a bit awkward and difficult sometimes to deal with so much stock in its own sense. And then I went into digital stores, so doing a lot of Shopify and e-com stores. And then essentially I found myself getting asked by all the people that we supply across those 500 stores. The business still exists, called the Italian Bag Company. And my father and my mother run it now. And I started basically...
Sorry,
go ahead.
To interrupt. I had a look at your Italian Bag Company, and very interesting. I'm just going to pop it in the chat for those who might be interested in having a look at it later. So excellent! It looks very interesting.
Yeah, I started designing handbags when I was maybe say about 19 or something.
These are your designs.
Yeah, some of them are designs. Some of them are named after people I know, funny enough. Then yeah, essentially, it's funny when it comes down to like sourcing products. It's a completely different kind of thing I could talk about, and I could ramble on about that for a long time if you wanted. But I won't go into that kind of thing. But basically, I used to buy the stock from London from importers, started doing a bit of homework, found out where the importers got the stuff from, like places like China and Italy and India.
Right.
And then, I got on an aeroplane, flew out to China when I was like 22, didn't know what the hell I was doing. Found myself in some very awkward situations in some bars, talking to people that I had no idea what was actually going on. And the same thing in Italy, funny enough. But sooner or later, you work it out, and you find the right guy who's going to sell you the right stuff at the right price, long story short. So yeah, started in retail, got my understanding of products and how shops will work in all that kind of end. And, it gave me a great concept onto how retailers are going to do what they're going to do. And sooner or later moved away from that business, got into digital marketing and digital e-commerce and all this kind of stuff with all the websites, essentially, Facebook ads, Google ads and everything. And I sooner or later found myself getting asked by the same people that we supply to actually help them with their business, with their digital, and also bringing more customers to their stores. So I started doing a little agency, had about 30, 40 clients, all on the go, and everything was running quite smoothly. But then I kind of came to this concept that there's only so many people you can essentially help, and at the same time there's only so many store owners that will also they will only do so much work themselves, essentially, because otherwise I know what it's like to be a store owner, and I'm thinking about other things sometimes more than just the marketing side. Like, I'm thinking of trying to make the best product more than, and then I let it up to somebody else to let everybody know about my best product. So when I came to this conclusion about a year ago or so, I started creating softwares and techs that can help business owners, like stores myself, that will do certain things on automation, or kind of do the things that I know that store owners wish they could do, but they can't do because nobody's done a tech like it, or it's just not something that's anyone kind of thought of, essentially. So it's like, my eyes, it's tech from a retailer's perspective.
Right. I was going to say, Faye dear, can you do the dishes another time?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
That's all right. I just want to give her a break.
Yeah, no worries.
Nice of her to join, though. I do want to say, Rupert, that I'm so pleased that I can understand you. And I mean that in the kindest way. Having been in England for about a year, when I was sent over to help a Chinese fellow in his 7th year of graduation, final year, 7th year of hospitality, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I just asked if you wouldn't mind closing the door behind me, because the builders are doing some work around the back, and they just decided to get the chainsaw out from the sounds of things. So I was just thinking, all of a sudden we go on a phone call. They haven't decided to do anything all day bloody long.
Yes.
And now, just because I need a little peace and quiet, they start cranking out a chainsaw.
Of course.
Common look, isn't it?
So I was in the Sainsbury.
Yes.
And I'm shopping.
Yes.
And I was in Huddersfield.
Yes.
I couldn't understand a word that the clerk was saying. She was, I was like, "Pardon me," and she was, "What?"
Yeah, there are some funny accents here in England. You should listen to somebody from Birmingham and Liverpool and Manchester. Like, it's quite funny. I mean, I know that you obviously have different accents in America, like, Texas, South Georgia, and all this kind of stuff. But it's quite funny how widespread they are in comparison to England. It's like a 2-hour drive, and then all of a sudden it feels like you're in another country.
Exactly. So I appreciate the fact that I can understand you very easily. So we get talking about Walletly.
Sure.
What can you give us an overview of what Walletly is about? Because this is completely new to our members, and I'm bringing this on not because we sell product here, but because every once in a while something comes along that I think is going to be so useful to our members and to help us ingratiate, for lack of a better word, get our inroads into the chamber.
Sure.
So let's talk about Walletly. That was the first one of your products I was introduced to.
Sure. Can you see my screen on the live? Just checking.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So on Walletly, I've just got the website up here. Walletly is a platform that will deliver things like coupons, loyalty cards, event tickets, birthday coupons, referral coupons, stamp cards, webinar cards. And the things that they deliver are these kind of cards like this. Now, these cards, once they get delivered, they go into this app on your phone called the Wallet. And this app is native to all phones. Like every single Apple phone has to have this app on the phone. And on Android phones, it's called the Google Pay app. So this will get delivered into these apps, and you're guaranteed that it will get delivered into them as long as obviously the user has said that they accept to put it into their phone.
Right.
And I'd have to say a very large percentage, somewhere around the 70% area on average is the quantity of people that will click that button. Now, one of the nice things about this is that Walletly connects in with chatbots. So just on the use case, just let's imagine for a second that somebody didn't put it into their wallet. It's still going to sit there in the chatbot, ready for the user to open up whenever they feel fit for them to utilize it. Now, a little pro, just before I go into more detail, if this card gets sent into the consumer's wallet, just to show you here quickly, you're then going to be able to send them push notifications about updating this user with potential new offers or events, or you could potentially even update the card. So like this one I have in front of me where it says a 60% discount, you could change that to a 30% discount after the user has utilized their 60% discount. So there's very little friction for the consumer to actually do anything, because a lot of it is automated down to the lines of, let's say, actions they potentially could do in a chatbot, or down to the business owner being able to change what is going to happen for the user.
So would you be notified that they've used that 60% discount and have to change it manually, or does the chat or the bot does it?
No, this comes through on well, it comes in two places. You can see the redemptions and everything on the dashboard inside of the software. This is sometimes utilized for marketers. And also, when a consumer turns up to have their coupon, let's talk about coupons, it's an easy example to talk about. When the consumer turns up to have their coupon utilized, the business owner or the staff of the business owner will have this app on their phone called Wallet Scan. Okay. And Wallet Scan is the application that we utilize to redeem. As you can see my kitchen over there, lovely place.
Yes.
And here is the dashboard, and the dashboard marries up over to the, as you can see, 67, 67, 20, 20, 47, 47, 30, because of the point equals higher to 30. And we can see the conversion rates, and we can also see the financial information as well. So this is how you can essentially get an on-the-go dashboard and a desktop dashboard that can give you a little bit more detail inside of the desktop one. But the most essential information that you're going to want to know will be on the side of your app as well.
Excellent.
So another key little point to maybe point out about Walletly without going into the how to set it up, because that's something I'm trying to essentially avoid, unless you would like me to show you how to set it up, is the fact of having this thing called a beacon. Now, did you know what a beacon is, Judith?
Through you, I have learned.
Right. Okay.
You can let everybody else know, though, just in case.
So a beacon essentially is that when we put these coupons, these loyalty cards, these tickets, these membership passes, these items into somebody's wallet, the Wallet Scan app has this really, it took us a long time and a lot of thinking on how we're going to make this happen. But we have this beacon, and this beacon essentially means that anybody who has taken up you on one of your coupons, if they walk within, let's say, about 50 to 100 meters of your phone with the iBeacon turned on, just like this, Now it's turned on. They are now going to get sent a push notification letting them know that they are close by to your store, your gym, your restaurant, your bar, your shop, your whatever business it is essentially you're doing. And you can create the message here inside of the Walletly software. Just come to business, go to iBeacon, and then create the message that you then want to send to somebody, and just update it. So you can change this for like certain things that might be happening on certain days of the week. So on a certain day of the week, you might have a particular offer that's going on in store. It doesn't mean that the user has to have a coupon inside of their wallet for it. You're just letting them know that they're close by and there's something going on inside of your store. Potentially a band is playing and you want to let them know and they're close by and they might want to listen, or it's a 2-for-1 drinks offer, or so on and so forth, effectively.
Just to mention here, Drew has joined us, Drew Griffin.
Hey, Drew.
As you've just become familiar with him in EVERLINK. He's telling you, nice tie.
I use this tie for all my lives. It's my lucky tie for lives, is the way I put it.
I think the whole point that you've chosen to wear a tie on Saturday in a casual setting with us, it speaks volumes.
I mean, I get people commenting me about it, to be honest with you, but I don't know. It's when I mean, obviously, Walletly, we have about 10 or 15 staff, development, management, and everything going on, and it's just something that I put onto them, that if we do calls amongst us and the board, I expect everybody to wear a shirt and tie, just to show respect amongst, just to show respect amongst everybody. It's not doesn't mean like I don't know. It's just my view on things. It's just the way I don't know. Maybe I was brought up, but when you're doing certain occasions, it's just the correct attitude is to be dressed for the occasion, essentially.
Well, it's generally accepted that if you dress in business attire, you will present entirely differently. It changes your attitude. That's for sure.
I mean, if you want to see me in a hoodie, my pajamas, I don't mind. But I mean, I'm not that pretty.
Honey, I'm in my pajamas right now. But I hadn't told you. You didn't know. Usually, I have a dress. I do dress up usually for these. The beacon.
Mm-hmm.
So Christopher is asking a question. Has the beacon tech been used in the US? And I know that it has.
Yeah. I mean, we launched Walletly on like a soft launch. At the moment, it's completely free to utilize. The reason for this is not because I don't want to take your money. It is because that I would like you to essentially use it. Let me add 1 or 2 more features that I think that will make it an absolute monster of technology, something that will make your chatbots better, essentially in a way that was never really been thought of, because there is other wallet type of software out of there, but to integrate into chatbots, it does take like maybe half an hour to 45 minutes, and there are additional costs on top of it, and it can run you at like $200 to $300 a month minimum, for a small audience, as Walletly is completely free. And then if you as you gain subscribers, and subscribers are measured with the quantity of people that you have the passes inside of wallets, because you're then going to be sending the push notifications. As you grow that list, we will charge you based on the growth of that list. So for $10, you can have 500 subscribers. And to be honest, if most of the people who will be watching this video know how much ManyChat charge you for the subscribers that you gain inside the chatbot, we charge you exactly the same amount that ManyChat charges you. So it's a nice way to kind of think about it, because the software is also built in the same kind of presence of how ManyChat works, in the sense of that you will have different Facebook pages that you've connected, and each Facebook page is what you're paying for the connection of, and so on and so forth. So it's exactly the same UI and the same user experience as well as ManyChat in a lot of ways, but instead of it being a conversational channel, it's the item that you'll deliver potentially through a conversational channel, instead of trying to build that rapport with the customer, because that's what ManyChat does a good job of, essentially.
Something comes to mind. Tell me if this would be an appropriate use.
Mm-hmm.
It's a restaurant. It's Thursday afternoon. It's really quiet. Tuesday, and it's really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I could then change and put out a push notification with a coupon for people passing by, to offer something that would bring them in and help fill up my restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect use case. The one thing that I would like you to kind of make sure you have a full understanding of is that the push notification for people that are passing by are the people that have already connected to you in the sense of having one of these wallets. So it's not brand new customers, it's your current customers that have already been delivered one of these coupons that, I've got a few different examples of on my phone because, just making tests and things. Okay, so these are the customers that you've already delivered these to. If they are walking by, then they will get the push notification because then you've got a communication channel with them to be able to do this action. Okay.
Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, because I want people to understand that, because I don't want people thinking that, just random Bob just walked past us and all of a sudden Bob got a push notification, because that'd be quite intrusive in the digital thing and GDPR and all of that stuff.
I've already heard a complaint about that sort of thing. A friend of mine was at a restaurant in Florida, and as he left the restaurant, and as he said, he paid in cash. There was no exchange of email. There was nothing to tip off who he was. Mm-hmm. As he left the restaurant, he was given a survey. What did you think of this restaurant? We think this restaurant is better, and here's a coupon to go try it next time. And he's like, what? Why did I get that? How did they find me? So that's a whole different program.
I'd have to have a look at that myself to be able to work it out backwards for you. But
that'd be
usually the consumer will always opt in. There used to be some very dodgy things you could do going back about a decade ago that I've heard of, but that was all based off of Bluetooth and not being able to control it inside of our mobile devices as well as we can obviously nowadays. So I couldn't comment on that one, to be honest with you, Judith.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. I just it was very intrusive, that was for sure, and I actually tried to track it and get a hold of the restaurant and find out what they, how they were managing this, and nobody would return my call. So that's the way it goes. So for Walletly, then, if we were trying to build a membership, let's say even for Chamber of Commerce or for our group, if we're trying to build a membership, what kind of things can we do with Walletly that'll help us?
So the first thing you got to think about will be how you're going to get your consumer to opt in. Okay, because that's going to be the first thing. Now, I've created Walletly with the whole idea of chatbots, because chatbots have an amazing open rate, amazing click-through rate, and it's going to be the next big thing for the next 5 years or so. That is going to dominate the market as far as I'm concerned. So we've made a really fast, quick integration on how to create your campaigns. And creating your campaigns with Walletly for like a membership is as simple as clicking the type of campaign that you would like to utilize, inputting the type of preferences that you would like to utilize, utilizing the template of the card that you've created. This is the template, so these are the cards, so you can have different banners and logos and names, and you can change the backs of them for what they say. So if I flip this one over, you can see just here that I've put all this information on the back of it, and that I can change at any point what type of card I want to deliver for my campaign. So the great thing about it will be that obviously it's very easy to put this into your chatbot. It takes all of 30 seconds. There's a nice little video, and you can listen to my annoying voice on this video just here. And then you just have to copy and paste these 3 bits of code into something that looks like this inside of your chatbot. 1, 2, and 3 goes here. Okay.
I think I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very simple. And the nice thing as well, I mean, I don't like to toot my own horn too much, obviously, as I find it a bit awkward or weird.
Do it.
But I got myself the 2nd place trophy for the Loyalty and Affiliate best template for ManyChat in their template competition that they did. And I worked pretty hard on making that template. It took like a year or so. So all of my template creations, I put all of them into Walletly, and you can access them here inside of the bot store. So you don't need to be a chatbot builder to use Walletly, because I will give you the types of chatbots that you will want. And then obviously inside of the Walletly group as well, there's going to be plenty of other great chatbot builders that I've invited over to give advice and give ideas on how you could utilize the chatbot. But for those who don't want to use chatbot, because obviously you got to spend a little bit of money obviously for your chatbot. I mean, it's not a lot, obviously, you're starting at $10. In the next 2 weeks, a little secret here that I'm showing everybody, something new, a little feature, is our brand new campaign builder that will be coming to Walletly. So the campaign builder, soon you'll be able to choose the type of chatbot platform that you're going to utilize, and you'll still get the same 3 bits of information that I showed you before, but you're also going to be able to utilize offline events. Now, offline events is like a link or a QR code. So we'll give you a QR code that you could put onto a poster, onto a wall, onto onto anything. And your consumer could open up their camera, scan that, and then it'll do 2 things. It'll say, what is your name? What is your email? They'll click a button to enter that information in. And then the next thing that will load up is the button for downloading the pass into their wallet. And the same thing for a link. So you could do, you could post that onto your Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, send it to your WhatsApps, put it into an email, send it out to loads of people in the emails, and they could then opt in through those channels as well. So we're not only going to be chatbot dependent as well. We will have our own growth taxes, our own way of growing your audience and your subscribers list, essentially.
Excellent. Drew Griffin has made a comment. Drew, you beat me to the punch. Part of the reason that I invited Rupert is because I also was seeing the potential of integrating this with EVERLINK to make some pretty incredible stuff happen. So yes, Rupert has done an amazing job with Walletly. We are just getting into it and can't wait to implement it in our marketing. So excellent. It's interesting how some of these things can work so well together.
Well, that's what I try and do. Make good combinations. Like having one thing by itself doesn't ever seem to work very well, but having a good little triangle, I usually find triangles work well, 3 points. To have that little consistent communication the way I do this. It looks a bit weird, I guess, but
You do it well.
three bits of tech usually are all you need. If you add more, it usually it gets too complicated, I find.
Oh, excellent. Rick Shearer is asking, do you need to subscribe to ManyChat to use Walletly?
No, that's what I just explained a second ago. With the fact of the new feature that'll be up in the next 10 days or so, you'll be able to have to click the offline events when you're creating your campaign, and you'll get given a QR code and a link. And the link you could put into traffic ads on Facebook, or you could post it places, or you could put it into emails and do whatever you want. And then the QR code, you could just place that physically, print it onto whatever you want to, and then people could scan it and then opt in.
Excellent. We're getting some good questions and some
I like questions.
Yeah, it works for me too. It's nice to know that we've got some people who are quite interested in what's being presented, because this is kind of the first of this type of presentation that I've done with Unintentional Heroes. So it's good. It's nice to know it's being received well. So what else have we got here, Rupert?
So I guess the last few things, just to finish off, talking about Walletly, is that we have an audience section. Oh, actually, I'll just go back one step quickly.
Okay.
So inside of the business section, I spoke about the beacon. Also, the way that you will send people, your business owners, or the people that you're like staff members, whichever kind of way you're looking at this, to the Wallet Scan app, is that you will create them as to be a user. It's a very simple thing. So you can just add the details like this. And on the Wallet Scan app, like I showed you before, you will have the dashboard. Now, I'm just going to be honest, me as a store owner like before, and having 3 or 4 managers, I would obviously like them to know about the reporting, but I don't want all my staff to know about the financials and the redemptions and the conversions, because it's not really information they should be privy to. So you can say yes or no. Would you like this particular user to have access to see the dashboard? And when they get given their email you can write the email here as well if you wish to. When they get given their email, they will then upload their details, like the password we sent to them in the email as well, to access the Wallet Scan app. They will then be able to not see the dashboard. So it's a good little feature, that, because it was something, I feel that feature is only added in as all of my experience as a store owner, essentially, because it's like Shopify stores, you have lots of different staff and people could log in, and they do give access to what you could have, but that was something that came a long time after people asking for it, instead of just being naturally there from the day dot of Shopify, so everybody could see how much money you were making on your website, instead of not allowing certain people to.
Oh dear. Good solution then.
Yeah, it's just something that came from, because I was like, store owner.
David Calafiore, do you know of David? David and Drew?
Yeah.
Purple too? Yeah. David says you are a rock star to come to us. And Drew is saying the power of proximity marketing with beacons is really exciting. Blown away at the potential of Rupert's tech.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I guess the last things to finish off the Walletly stuff, just to run through it fast, is as people opt in to your campaigns, you have an audience section. The audience section will tell you what campaigns they've opted into, the expiry date of when the coupon will run out, if we're talking about coupons, whether or not they've utilized the coupon or not, the email address, and the name of the person as well. So you can keep track of things if you want to be able to look if any dodgy dealings are going on. But just to be completely frank and honest with you, Walletly is 100% secure, in the sense of that if I've already downloaded the coupon and utilized the coupon, I will not be able to re-download a second one. And if I've already utilized the coupon, I am not going to be able to re-utilize the coupon. And the only way you would be able to get around that is being another person. In the sense of that
set up a different account.
Yeah, well, you could even set up another account. I mean, you'd literally have, you couldn't set up another account unless you had like a second phone. So you'd have to have like 10 phones to get away with maybe having 10 free appetizers, essentially. And I don't think someone's going to make the investment into 10 iPhones to just get a freebie appetizer or something upon those lines,
One hopes.
Yeah. So last little thing, I guess, settings. In the settings of Walletly, this is the default that you'll have for your templates, the cards that you create. So you can always change this if you're going to kick out loads of different templates and you want them to all be exactly the same every time, so you don't have to reload the same stuff every time. We also support users, so you could have multiple people inside of your user's account. And then I add little training and videos into this as well. You can also find this on the YouTube, but I place it here so you could come onto this and have so you don't have to go to other places, essentially. So yeah,
will it be white label at some point? It doesn't matter to me so much, but I know there's people and everything are going, I want a white label.
I know. So this is the fun thing that we did. This is because of over the 3 months, I would say, of building Walletly. I had the group. I was telling people what was coming. We were designing and drawing and building and doing this and doing that. And I was I was doing a lot of listening and doing what I refer to as the research side. And yes, there was a lot of white label asking. So the way that we came up with the white label is that it's always white label if you want it to be, okay? And what I mean by this is that the app is Wallet Scan. So if you're an agency and you don't want to know about Walletly and the fact that it costs $10, and you're a marketing agency that's potentially priding your time and efforts and your ads marketing, because that's something I think is very important, is that Walletly takes 10 minutes. Boom, you set up campaign, off you go, crack on. Most important thing now is to get opt-ins, and that comes down to how you're going to advertise it, the content, the audiences, all that work that takes, you know, consistency, like on and off over the weeks and months, and also obviously implementing QR codes and links and email blasts and, you know, text messages and however else you try to grow your audience, and that takes time as a marketing agency. So this is a great tool for agencies in that sense. If you're the agency and you don't want your client to know about Walletly because you worried your client might get a little bit like, oh, you're paying $10 and you're charging me X, then they only need to know about wallet scan, because that's the only thing that they're ever going to essentially see, and same with the users about Walletly. So it's up to you if you want to mention Walletly, because the one thing that they're going to see is wallet scan. Okay, and
that's innocuous enough.
Yeah, so it's kind of gets around it. I've got, funny enough, as well, if you can see this, I work on creating videos for agency owners, like this one, which I'll be releasing. This is a bit of a beta and needs a little bit of cleanup work, but this talks only about wallet scan. So I'll be giving this to agencies who want to go down the white label route, and you'll be able to, you know, utilize this as adverts for your marketing agency, and through this you can, you know, attract new clients or tell your current clients, and it doesn't mention anything about Walletly inside of the entire video. So it's a great little way for you to be able to, you know, bring your clients and show them, essentially.
Excellent. Now, Scott's asking, if you have 100 on your list you want to send push notification to, can you select certain people to get it instead of the message going to everyone?
Yes. So that is, how do I get rid of?
Good question, Scott.
So part of, so I can't show you the push notification side, but essentially you can break down who you're going to send your push notification to at the moment. It'll get larger as we build this, obviously, because, you know, we've been live in our soft launch now for 12 days. So you can separate out each push notification via what campaign people have opted in through. Okay. So you can separate them from day one. Campaign. Sorry, say that again, Judith.
I'm sorry, I was speaking with you. It's how you create your campaign then. It'll go to people. Yeah,
so each campaign you can send a push notification based on the opt-ins of that campaign, and that'll be a great way of segmenting it. And as we grow it, Walletly, we're going to add features like have people opted in or not opted in, have they spent so much or not spent so much, and obviously, you know, the tech will grow as hopefully the users grow, and there we go, essentially. So yes, segmentation, but from day one, based off the campaigns, 60 days in the future, from then 90 days maybe, a lot of different options will come.
Excellent. This is good. You know, Delicious Marketing, Drew and David are growing the features on EVERLINKs and leaps and bounds, and you're growing on leaps and bounds. It's going to be interesting to see, like, even a couple months from now.
I'm interested in the next 6 months.
Yeah, going to be special. So how about the A1 Club? Can we spend a few minutes on that?
Yeah, of course.
Because I know this is very new.
Okay. So in A1, there's two businesses. There's A1 Club and there's the A1 Business. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So just go to the A1 Club. So A1 Club is very, very simple to understand. So we'll go through this one first. The A1 Club is a business card like this one that you can see. It can either be made of plastic or metal. And the business card comes with a wireless technology referred to as NFC, referred to as near field communication, that you can create different types of actions that you would like to have behind it. So you can have a business card that could send people to your contact details, or to your to make a phone call, or to your chatbot, or to a location or an event, or to social media, or to even open up an app. And I've got even more actions that I'm building based off of more requests that I seem to be receiving. One request, funny enough, that we had yesterday was for downloadable items. So you could upload your item into A1, and then there'll be a button for them to download it and hold it into their phone. A great use for this is music. The person who asked me this is a Radio 1 DJ. And he asked me, he likes giving out MP4s, but the problem is with the MP4s are that they cost a lot, and these cards don't cost as much as those. And the great thing is that you can change what the card does at a click of the finger, okay? Right. So it's a great way to be able to deliver information. It's a great opt-in channel. And just to show you a quick example, I can show you two things here. Here's my phone, and if I take the card and if I just rub it onto the back, it will then open up the website to take me through to my chatbot. I can click the Get Started button, and now it's onto my chatbot. Okay, wow. So it's a very simple way of doing things. And just to show you what that looks like on my phone, I can open up the camera, I can scan the QR code, click the button just there, and 3, 2, 1, straight over into the chatbot, just like so. Okay. So a very simple way to be able to essentially create a nice way of delivering a business card without having to have big clunky pieces of paper. And if your information happens to change, like your phone number or your email address, you can just log into A1, change your details, and now it's done. This will be changing. This will be delivering that different type of information. Okay?
Now, just a question then that you just raised is that if I give you my business card today this way through tapping, and a week from now I change some of the information on that card, when I update my A1 Club card, is that going to update the information?
Well, no, because that can't happen at all.
Okay.
Because obviously it's inside the contacts. But me being the clever sod that sometimes I think I am, yeah. What you can do is I've being a chatbot expert or whatever you want to call it, we've created a special API integration with ManyChat with these cards. So for that particular use case there, what you can do is imagine that you change your details, or your phone numbers change, your emails change, and you want to let them all know, and you want to update the contacts in their phone for them.
Okay.
You could change the details in A1, take that link that we give you in the A1 software, which I'll get round to when I show you the A1 business side of things. And then you could broadcast that out to everybody via the chatbot, because when they first opted in to receive your information, the funny thing is that the first thing that they did was they went into the chatbot and you said, "Hi, Rupert, before I give you my phone number and contact details, I would like to have your email address and your phone number as well. Can you please let me know what it is?" Bang, bang, you put it in. And then the next thing is, the next button is the download button for me to get the information onto my phone, which I'll show you how that looks in a second. And then all of a sudden, let's just imagine you've now changed your details half a year on or something. You could just send out a broadcast, change the details, the link will then get sent to them, and they then have the choice to click the link and update your contact details into their phone. So it's not an automated, it's a thing again where you have to say to them, "Hey, my details have changed. Would you like to store my new details onto your phone?" And they say yes. They click that, and then the details will update onto the phone.
Well, that would work for me.
Yeah, I know. It's just sometimes some people are like, "Oh, but I just want to click my fingers and it's done." I'm like, yeah, but you need that other person to agree as well. You can't just go done like that, unfortunately, sometimes. I mean, you might be able to if you obviously owned the app, but unfortunately, we don't own the contacts address book in everybody's phone, do we? Because that'd be a bit odd, wouldn't it?
Okay. Rick is saying this is a physical one-on-one application. It is, because you've got your card and you've got the person with the card and the person with the phone. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So this is with the A1 Club is about business cards in the way of, you can just have your normal business card. You can give them the business card, and that business card could work. They could remember to come to their card and phone you and do whatever you want. But utilizing this type of card, you're going to be able to have all sorts of different ways of trying to not only deliver your information, but also to retrieve their information for you to be able to contact them in the future. depending on what type of business that you're potentially going to do with that person. So this is a very B2B kind of business model that we're referring to right now. It's not so much a B2C in the sense of implementation from a restaurant into the customers that will come into the restaurant. That is the A1 business, which I can talk about as well if you'd like me to show you.
But as Chris points out here in his comment to us, this is a dream for networking events.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, those lanyards to go around with. If you wanted to, you could put the card if you wanted to, and we also do stickers, so you can put like stickers onto things if you wanted to. Do the same thing. You could just put the card or a sticker onto your lanyard, and I've seen it before at like things like as big as like things like the Web Summit in Lisbon, where they have a QR code on them, and that's why we have the QR code on this as well, because there are certain devices that won't be able to do the wireless, and I'll explain that again in a second. But you could go around in Lisbon just rubbing your phone onto from your lanyard onto people's phones, and then that will exchange the information. And a cool little thing you could do with that as well, I mean, I've spoken to a few conference owners about this, is that the conference owners themselves, they could give these to their users, and then the conference owner would know that the conference goer A has given to the information to conference goer number 745, and they passed it over, and then the actual conference owner themselves could have some sort of campaign where they try and make sure that these connections actually take place, and the most amount of value for the conference goers has been implemented for these people, so they get the most amount of value essentially. And also obviously that they can take the card or the sticker home with them, and with the special chatbot integration, which I won't show you the chatbot integration because it's a little bit chatbot nerd application will go with it, but with that, I could tell my chatbot, I could speak to my chatbot and go, hey, can you please change the link from my card to, instead of going to apple.com, I want it to now go to google.com. So the conference could give a card that could say, we'll talk about a certain conference, the ManyChat conference, for instance. I could go to the ManyChat chatbot, and I could have my ManyChat card, and then I could tell the ManyChat bot that I would like my card to now update my contact details, and the chatbot will update the details that are behind my card effectively.
Wow, excellent. Now, Rick is asking, will all phones accept the signal feed?
Yes, that's something I mentioned just a second ago. So 99.9% of all Android phones will do that. Okay. iPhone X, with the wireless, yes. iPhone X, XR, XS, and SX Max will be able to do the wireless. And the great thing about the wireless with the iPhone is that you can do it from the lock screen. As to with the Android device, I can't do it when it's locked like this. But if I open the device and I have it on the home screen, that's when I can do it, and that's when it will then go through to the link for me. As for the iPhones underneath, like my iPhone 7 here that you can see on the screen, that is why we have the camera and the QR code, which everybody's normal to, and that's how that works. But one thing that I like to think about, and it's something I want people to kind of think about, is that I'm more invested into what's going to happen over at least the next 3 to 5 years. And iPhones with the new iOS software coming out is rumored to have from iPhone 7 and above being able to receive the wireless information. So, or the NFC receiver, they already have it inside of the phone. The software is not allowing us to be able to access it though. So until iPhone give us the capability, we're not going to be able to do that unless we have the scanner, unless you have an iPhone X and above.
What's the determined shelf life or of the card? Does the card, like I know, like
it'll last,
but it's not tap, it's rub.
Well, it is tap. I just like to say rub because it's just a very easy way of saying it. I mean, you don't have to rub it. I mean, like, It's just sometimes in different phones, the little receiver, you got to imagine there's like a little antenna somewhere in the phone, and there's like a little antenna in the card as well, and they kind of need to get a little bit close. So I seem to find a faster response if you kind of just rub it on the phone, because then you get to it. But I mean, if I want to, I can just tap it onto the phone there, and it didn't do it. But if I hold it down onto the phone and then move it up there, it found the receiver. So that's why I kind of say you want to tap it on and pull it up, and then it will find the receiver or rub it, essentially. So you don't, it's not like a magic rub. It's just you trying to find the receiver and the sender from this to the phone, essentially.
But the card lasts a long time.
Oh, forever. There's no batteries or anything. Like, the only thing that you can do to break the card is literally if you snap it like that, but made out of the same material that you have credit cards that last you for 4 years. They're going to last you for as long as basically you treat them in good condition in their own sense as well. Like, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I throw this one around the house a bit, and I've got a few little scratch marks on the side of it, but that's just me, isn't it?
Rick has got a question here, a little bit off the side, but a good question nonetheless. Which mobile app are you using to screencast your mobile device?
Reflector 3.
Reflector 3. There you go, Ricky. Excellent. What is the cost of the card? There's Christopher's question.
So this will be a good way. This will be a good time for me to move over to A1 Business. So if you wanted to buy a business card from me at the moment, I'm doing the white ones for free. Just pay me $5 for shipping. I'm going to do a couple thousand like that. After that, you can buy colored ones like this yellow one that I have. They are $9 plus a $5 for shipping. And the more you buy, the more discount that you will receive as well. So there's a few different options, as you can see, that we've created. I've got a whole box of them over there behind me somewhere. And yeah, they're $9. But if you'd like to, you can also print whatever you want onto them. Okay, you can print your logo, you can print your name, a photo of yourself, your business, whatever you like. Okay, you can do the same with the metal cards as well. We have a laser printer, or a laser engraver, I should call it, to be honest. That will be able to engrave whatever you'd like onto the cards. They are a little bit more expensive, the metal ones, obviously. They are $19, but you can engrave whatever you like, and that's only an extra $5 to be able to do so. But here's the fun thing about it: the business card. You buy it for $9, and that will give you unlimited access to the A1 platform to be able to utilize. Now, let's just take the same technology, Judith, and flip it and put it into the hands of a business owner, and let's multiply it into the hundreds, into the thousands of cards, kind of like when you go to Starbucks and you find the plastic membership cards or gift cards that you find in like every single bloody shop that you go to. Okay, and that's called A1 Business. Okay, so A1 Business, I'm just going to log in here to my screen, and I'm just going to get rid of my phone now because I don't need my phone anymore, I feel. So A1 Business, this is the same A1 platform that you will have as the A1 business card or the business club, but it has a few different tweaks to it. So the business side, you're able to not only have cards, but you can make the same wireless interactions happen with nearly everyday products. And you can do that with stickers very simply, obviously, because the sticker, you stick it to whatever you want, like, table toppers and this and that and whatever, wherever you want to put it. But you can put the same technology into things like beer mats, beer coasters, stickers, key rings, pens, event wristbands, watches, necklaces, placemats, posters that go up on the wall, trying to think of some other interesting ones, wobblers that go on the side of shelving for where products go, table talkers that go on the side of the table.
You mentioned it being on the wine label.
Yeah, you can put it onto wine labels, put it onto t-shirt labels, put it onto like any product that you bloody want to. It is literally something about yay big that gets put into nearly anything. You know, so the only limitation to it, and this is one fun thing that we were able to work with a very special card manufacturer, is metal. It doesn't transmit through metal. So when we do our metal cards, just to be honest, because I like to make sure people are very clear on these things, is that the front layer of the metal cards is metal, and then there's a very thin layer of plastic on the back of it, and the thin layer of plastic is where we put the NFC receiver. So when you are utilizing a metal card, you will be able to transmit it through the metal because it's quite, you know, it's not the thickest of all things in its world of density. But if you utilize the back of the card, you'll be able to go straight into somebody's phone on the metal cards.
Excellent.
So yeah, my envisionment to it is that the entire shop, or the entire business, or the entire event, or any interaction of physical points of humans interacting with physical items could turn into a digital opt-in to any type of campaign. And obviously I like chatbots, and that's why I also created a special integration into this that leads to ManyChat, where you can add some special capabilities, which I won't bore you with because it's tech mumbo jumbo. But there are some videos and things that I'll be releasing soon, and again, more chatbot templates as well that you'll be able to utilize the A1 platform for, so you don't have to be a chatbot builder to be able to utilize the platform. So I guess actually I'll bring my phone back, funny enough, but would you like to see some examples of different types of actions that you could do with your card?
Before we do, can I just, we've got a message here, have to watch the reply. First of all, could you go up above and sign into StreamYard so that we know who you are? And what, I mean, someone's come on here and is making a fair amount of comments, but I have to watch the reply. I don't know what you're responding to. As Drew says, the uses are endless. Or sorry, Christopher Knight agrees with Drew. The uses are endless. Complete game changer. Excellent. Do carry on, please.
Sure. So this is something we do. This is you got to try and I'll show you what this is. So these are your actions. So creating an action is what is the card like. If I just talk about cards, it's easy to think about it as a card. Okay. What do you want your card to do? Do you want it to go to a URL? Would you like it to go to a contact card, an event, a link tree? That's something funny enough I'm talking about with Drew and David about the EVERLINKs, maps, chatbots, and even phone calls. Okay, so you could add an action, and just for instance, if I show you the contact card, you come to the contact card, you would add the action, and then you can add a photo of yourself, your name, all of your address, your phone numbers, and all of this information will be passed over onto the card. So just to show you very quickly what it looks like as well for the cards, this here is the A1 business model. So you could have hundreds and hundreds of different items associated with different things. So how this would work if you were going to actually use it, I'll show you that actually before I move to what it was I was going to talk about. You could come over to here in the A1 business, say that you're going to purchase the cards. Now, when you're a business utilizing A1, the cards will cost you because you will have to have a minimum order purchase amount in the sense of wholesale of how this works, from say about 100 to 500 minimum per item potentially. Okay, depending on what the item kind of is. And that will give you a massive discount. So you'll be talking about as cheap as $2 a piece for the cards, for instance. So you could buy 100 cards and say they're $2, and then you'll be able to utilize them. But then you're then going to have to pay the monthly subscription to A1. And A1's monthly subscription starts at 500 active items at $20 a month. Okay, so that's why it's different from the A1 Club, because the A1 Club, you'd purchase 100 cards and it would cost you maybe $4.50 a card, for instance, but you have forever lifetime access to be able to use that card Okay, but then it'll be assigned to an individual person, not assigned to an individual business, where you could manipulate hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards or items all at the same time. Okay, so there's different limitations to different things as in a business card use case and into a business use case. Okay, so you'd come along to the shop, you'd buy a couple hundred cards, and then once you buy the cards, you'd come over to your tags. That's what we refer to as the NFC and the QR code.
Okay.
You'd find it inside of the folder, and it would say business card purchased on this date. You could then come to this and you could select all of them, and then you'll be able to then tell them that we want them to go to a particular action. Or if you'd like to, just in this example, this is what I was going to get round to, you could come to the individual card and you could change what it does. So as you can see, when I've been scanning my card before, it's been going to the chatbot deep link. Now, if I click Google like this, and I open up my phone, go to the camera, scan the QR code, click the link, it now goes straight to google.com. Now, if I click Apple, and I again open up the camera, scan the QR code, and now it's gone to apple.com. If I go to Rupert's contact details, I can click onto that, open up the camera, and there we go. It's going to take you to my contact details, where I can then click Save, add it to my contacts, and there we go. And then just to show you one more last action, I could open up my camera, scan the QR code, and now it's going to ask me to make a phone call because that's the action I just selected here. Okay, so you could do all sorts of different actions and control it, and it's really up to the mind of the marketer or the business owner to think about what they want. But I will be spending a lot of my time in the kind of experiences that I've had as a retailer on how I feel that certain niches of business should and could potentially be utilizing A1 in interconnection with things like chatbots and Walletly, because a nice way of thinking, like as I said to you earlier with my triangle concept that I like to think of as three different techs kind of working with each other in synergy, is that you could have a physical card that could also match your digital card. And I think that's a very powerful combination if we're talking about just cards here, because obviously, like I said to you, you could utilize A1 for loads of different types of items like posters and beer mats and all sorts of things. But you could have a physical representation in your wallet of a membership, a loyalty card, a stamp card, something upon this nature, or just have a card in there that every so often, based off of time preferences and things, could potentially have a different offer behind it and do something upon that nature. And then you've got a digital card that's always with somebody that can then also have a small bit of communication back and forth between you and your customer by sending them push notifications, but also proximity based on them getting close to the business. Okay. And they, the message could be, hey, I know you have a card, because you're able to have the chatbot know who's got what, essentially, in passing of information. You like my little dance, how I do that, don't you? And it's like, really? You could say, hey, take your membership card, go to the shop and get yourself a free coffee on us, and then utilizing something like the wallet scan app, you'd then be able to redeem your free coffee based off of that.
Wow.
And there you go, essentially.
My goodness. This is a lot for my little brain on a Saturday morning to absorb. But I know that when I go to your groups that you have for these products, that there's an awful amount of help and videos and how-tos, and it's all there.
Yeah, I try and put as much in there as possible. I also like to tease everybody a little bit with what might be coming up.
You do?
Coming up as well. So sometimes there's a bit of confusion, but I think some people have kind of caught on that sometimes I'm a bit of a wind-up merchant as well in some facets.
I think that's how we caught up at one point.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here, Rupert? So no, that's excellent. Does anybody else have any more questions? There's one more comment up here. Let's go see what that is. Loyalty card on steroids, says Chris. and it truly is. There's so much that we can do with this. I think that it would take some time for us to wrap our heads around it. I do think that there are uses both for chamber and for ingratiating us to the chamber, as well as for the members themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And ties in very nice with EVERLINK's, I think, as well. So there's a good fit. Each is great on its own. Together, I think it's pretty dynamic.
That's my kind of view on it. The synergy of all three.
Yeah.
I mean, when I talk chatbots, but I obviously have a preference to ManyChat because they have an API that allows me to be able to make some very interesting passing of information and correlation, essentially. But chatbots with ManyChat, chatbots with Walletly and A1, it seems to, if I was still a store owner and a shop owner, it would it'd be definitely something I would want to hop onto, and that's why I made it, because it's that missing digital interactional opt-in, proximity based, conversational, and push notificational channels that I feel that as retailers, the retailers will want to be trying to take advantage of with their consumers, but at the same time, you're not trying to overload or push your agenda too hard into a consumer that it'll upset them, essentially, to the point of where they feel that you're intervening their privacy.
Right. No, I think it does it very nicely. I think you've hit the target right on. Excellent.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So is there anything else you'd like to see on the computer, like Walletly or A1? Is there any more comment questions or anything?
Anyone have any other questions? We don't always look at time, but I do notice that we're gone a little bit.
No, I'm fine for time if you want to talk about other things. I'm just saying, if there's anything else on the screen, I'm happy to show people if they've got some last questions about Walletly or A1.
We'll give them just a final minute here to see if there are more questions. Can I ask a really stupid, dumb, blonde question?
Yeah, if you want to.
Because I do.
Sure, go for it.
How many cards do I need?
Depends on what your use case is.
What I'm going to do. Okay, so as a business model, I get that you need, the more cards for that. As an individual, I have a card. I'm passing it on to someone who is also part of it. So why do I need more cards as an individual?
You don't. You just need one. As an individual, as an A1 club, you just buy one. You just have one. And I mean, I have a little bit more work to do with this here, but like how I said to you that the chatbot could change what happens on the card. That's one way that you could do that. The reason why that was created is obviously because it has a B2C use case in the sense of restaurants and their consumers, and the chatbot and the consumer doing some sort of action or time-based action inside of the chatbot will then change what happens with the card. But if we talk about a kind of business that has maybe 10 or 20 sales reps, for instance,
okay,
and you bought 10 or 20 cards and you gave them to all of the sales reps, you don't want all your sales reps going on to A1 software and basically messing around with it when there should be just one person essentially kind of managing it. But what you can do is give everybody their card, set them up with a reference link from ManyChat behind them, and then that'll associate that ManyChat account with this card, and then you could tell the people who have your business cards to then choose what are their contact details and to update and to change the link with that. So you only need one, but again, if you're a big kind of firm, you might buy loads and loads of business cards, which is why we give the volume discounts available on the A1 Club. In fact, I can't say their name. I feel like it's a bit of a privacy breach, but a very, very, very large bank who works in those billion numbers has made inquiries into making an order for their
excellent
for their hire staff. which could be a few thousand metal cards.
Wow,
When it comes to the end of it. So that would be a great use case for them, because they would give out all the business cards, and I doubt that they're going to let every single individual log in and potentially mess with each other's cards if they did, if they wanted to have that kind of capability. So you can give the capability to alter the cards via a chatbot for the cards, essentially, which helps to manage it, essentially.
Excellent. Well done, Rupert. So what we're missing at the so to wrap this up is I'll ask you for to send me over the links after we shut down. So we can send you over the links, because I think there are people who are going to want to go to the Walletly site. They might want to go to the A1 site, and I'm assuming that they can find out much more information there and learn all about it. So if you could provide me with those links after, we'll do that. In terms of Walletly, there is a promotion on right now, isn't there?
Yeah, it's free.
I love it.
It's free.
It's free.
It's free. It's very, very simple. I'm not asking you to pay me. I mean, it does have a freemium model anyway to it, in the sense of that you can get on there, but you'll have limits to what you can do, and then it's going to ask you to pay, because you're going up, and it's going to cost me money to have you as a subscriber, essentially, to the software. Yeah. But it's free, and I just want to make it very clear to anyone who watches this, and you're at the end of this video now, that the only reason it's free is not because of any sort of promotion in the sense of I'm just trying to get people on there. It comes down to a simple thing of that there are still things that need to be built inside of it, in the sense of different types of campaigns and one or two other types of use cases inside of it. And there is also, there are different languages that I need to build for it as well, because we have about 30 countries across the world utilizing it now, and about 20 states as well. There's about 800 and something stores that have already opened themselves up to connecting their Facebook pages to Walletly in the first, in under 2 weeks. And I want to hear from the marketing agencies and the store owners and whoever's inside of the groups, and inside of the group is mainly where a lot of it all goes down. What features do you want? What's missing? How can we make it that little bit much better? And are you happy with the pricing? Do you see where we're going with this? And before I go to what I will refer to as my big mega launch over it, I want the vast majority of people to be happy with what they're about to essentially receive and pay for, because I don't want, obviously, to have unhappy customers on my end with the software. So it's just free because I don't want you to feel bad, because as soon as you're paying for something and it doesn't work how you want it, that's when everybody gets a bit nippy, isn't it?
And there's a fair number of people in your groups already. I mean, these are not starter groups.
About 1,200 people.
1,000 in your Walletly, don't you?
Yeah, about 1,200 people inside of that. And I'd have to, I mean, going back into some other business I won't talk about, I used to manage about 120 groups across the country. I did, and we had about 400 and something thousand members across all of them. But I'll make this promise that give me 6 months, and I'm going to get that Walletly group just as big as that bloody ManyChat group.
Excellent. And I bet you will.
Yeah, I like
a lot for somebody who looks like 26.
Sorry?
You've done an awful lot, accomplished a great deal for someone who looks like they're 26 years old.
Well, I'm 28, but thank you.
Oh, well, there you go. Still, a hell of a lot in a fairly short time, Rupert. This must be a very exciting time for you, for all this to be happening.
Yeah, I'm quite excited, obviously. Like, I look forward to the next 6 months. I think 6 months is going to be the most exciting things. I mean, we're hopefully going to a few conferences where, we'll be able to give business cards out to people. They'll be able to, purchase the cards and be able to do what they like with them. We'll be able to show the Walletly tech to a few people. We've got all of our main launches going on. We've got a fair few large clients that are looking to sign on, like I said, like that large bank and a very large food chain that likes chicken and has a fair few thousand stores worldwide. Dropping hints there to everybody. that's the way I like to do it. I don't like to tell you what's going on. I just like to tell you roughly what's going on, so you can kind of make up your own mind.
That's the magician in you coming out, isn't it? The illusion.
Maybe, I just don't like to make things easy sometimes. So certain facets just don't need to be easy. Some stuff needs to be easy. Like, how do you use software? Yeah, that needs to be easy. Sometimes I like to just be a little bit encryptic. It's just just call it me being English or a magician, or whichever way you want to go with it. I'm an awkward Harry Potter. You go with.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm looking forward a lot to it. There's a lot of people that have given me a lot of their time, like yourself, Judith, which I'm very appreciative of.
Thank you so much for being our guest and taking this time out to explain so much to us. It's all quite exciting, and perhaps we'll be able to have you on in a few months and get like an update on what's going on, because there'll probably be more things involved there. We'll keep an eye on you and see if we can have you back at some point. Excellent.
Sure, absolutely no problem. It's been great talking to you as well, and sharing all of this with everybody in the group as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now I shall let you get back to business.
Fantastic. I'm going to go make a cup of tea anyway.
I betcha. Yes. Have a good cuppa.
Okay. See you later. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a pleasant fellow. Well, guys, what did you think of that, eh? Some exciting news. There's just some things that come together very nicely. But wait till next week. Next week, where's my banner here? Next week, we're going to be talking to Gage Vandentop. Who is Gage? StreamYard. And you are watching this presentation, compliments of StreamYard. And we're going to have him on next week to talk about that. A fellow Canadian, I might add. So we'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.